everyone, welcome to another session of A Day in the Life of a BA. My name's James, and I'm the president of IIBA Ireland, and I'll be your host today. At IIBA Ireland, our mission is to support professionals by sharing knowledge, common terminology, and practical insights into the work of business analysts across different industries or sectors. And that's the whole point of the series, to give you a chance to hear directly from BA professionals about their typical day, like their processes, the tools, the techniques they use, the challenges and successes that they have encountered in the industry, or just insights into their own experience. And each month, we're inviting a different BA professional to share their personal journey, which highlights the approaches they take, the technologies they rely on, and real world examples from their own work. So, whether you're considering a career in business analysis, already working alongside BAs, or just simply looking to deepen your understanding of the role, today's session is designed to give you that clarity, confidence, and a shared language for working effectively with different business analysts. And today, I'm delighted to be joined by Hanun, who works as a BA in food manufacturing. Hanun will be sharing us about her own day in the life of a BA and sharing practical insights from her own experience. Throughout the session, please feel free to turn on your camera for interactions and submit your questions into the Q&A tab or the chat. We'll go through them at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, it's over to you, Hanun.
All right, thank you, James, for the kind intro. So, hello everyone, my name is Hanun, and currently I am an IT strategy specialist in my current role. And to begin this session, let me share my screen first, okay? So, okay, Allah. So, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for today's session, it's a day in the life of a business analyst in food manufacturing. So, what you will gain in the session is first is the practical understanding of a business analyst in manufacturing, and then the daily responsibilities of a BA, and then operational challenges in food manufacturing and practical perspective. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Hanun, and as I've already told you, I'm an IT strategy and digital transformation lead in my current role. And first things first, I love food and its making process. And I also a tech girly, which means that I love the technology aspects with engineering background. And I have been involved in several industries from manufacturing to ESG. So first, let me ask you a question. Imagine about your food on your table. Ever wondered how they end up on your plate? So for this example, I will use like a tuna sandwich. And then now imagine a factory for canned tuna from R&D, supply chain, manufacturing, packaging, quality control, and then the distribution warehouse until the supermarket, and then until the canned tuna is on your plate and ready to eat. So first, there are many technologies are involved in this area, which is from R&D, supply chain, and so on. And then first, and then that's when a business analyst step in. We have to um uh we have to manage the operational, and then we have to like translating business needs into structured requirements for technology implementation. And then I have to manage the stakeholders engagement, and also analyzing the current process, then proposing the new process to enhance its effectiveness and efficiency, and also technology implementations projects management. Okay, so from the first challenges in my role are the first thing first, the research and development process. So we have to figure out as a BA, we have to figure out how the formulations process went, how to make a new product, how to make the existing product sustain, and who will ideate the new product, and why do we need to discontinue or preserve a product. So as a BA, we have to ask those questions to the user. And then after the research and development process, we go to the supply chain. How do we make sure we get the best quality raw material at reasonable price? And then why do we need to monitor and review the supplier? What kind of material that can be changed or cannot be changed? And who will decide the approval process for purchase order? And then to the manufacturing operations. Is the production process running well? What needs to be improved in terms of technology in the shop floor? Do we need manufacturing execution system? And how are the yield rates? Because sometimes if you know about the yield rate in the manufacturing operations, we need to make sure that the raw material is uh, close to the equal of the finished products. That's why we need to monitor the yield rate. And then after the manufacturing operations, we have to make sure the finished goods. How is the quality of our products? Does it fulfill the standards? Like as for example, ISO, halal, because I live in Indonesia, which is the largest Muslim community in the world. So we have to make sure is it halal, and then the good manufacturing practice, and then how about the HACCP certificate, and how do the quality checking process going? Is the packaging good enough to preserve our products? As a BA, we need to handle this operation. And then the distribution and logistics. Can we afford to distribute our products to a certain remote area? Do we need to have trucks as our asset or can we rent it? The shipment scheduling, what are the charges and fees we need to pay to ship our products? And do to we need to configure, is it business to business, business to consumer, or omni-channel? And then we have to not forget the sales and marketing aspects, the SLA terms or service level agreement, and then the advertising and promotion budget, or we can say it A&P. How do we track the impact of our A&P to our sales and revenue? And then about the marketing, are we above the line, below the line, or through the line? And then how do we increase our brand's awareness? And how is our brand's perception from our customers' per point of view? And now, after all that have been through, the BA tries to configure, translating the requirements, and then implement the system. You can now enjoy your tuna sandwich. And the cycle continues. So after you, like, for example, you enjoy your tuna sandwich, you may have some reviews. And then that reviews will be continue or be escalated to the QA or the customer service, and then the customer service will be escalated to R&D so they can research to develop a new product or to preserve existing product. And that's is those are the teeth. And then I'm sorry. After all of that process, there are some key takeaways. A BA could bring big impact to the company, whether in operational or in technology implementation aspects. And then because the operations in manufacturing are very complicated and we need to be very specific and really detail oriented. Sometimes a BA could be struggling because they have to move fast. They have to move from this priority to other priority fast, and then we can be struggling, but don't worry because struggling means we are growing as a BA. And after that, communication strategy is a must because we as VA, especially in ITBA, we have to serve as a business partner to our user in the company. So we have to have a communication strategy. And then when all is feels overwhelmed, don't be afraid to ask for help because sometimes a BA can be a little struggle or a little overwhelmed with all of the priorities and then the have to figure out how to manage the stakeholders and then how to manage the project, but sometimes they have to do the documentation also. um they sometimes it's okay to just ask for help, like do the escalation to your senior, do the escalation to your supervisor or manager. And then after that, I can reassure you that being a BA is not limited to many to certain industries, but it can also implemented or it could be implemented in many industries. Okay. Thank you for your attention. Because this is a sharing session, so I don't want to get too long for the presentation. So thank you. Okay, James, thank you. I will stop sharing my screen and we can go to the question and answer maybe.
Thanks so much, Hanun, for taking the time. I really appreciate it. That was, I think, the quickest presentation that I've ever seen, but so
Yeah.
valuable. So much information in there to dive
Yeah.
into. But yeah, I guess, guys, we're opening up the floor to any questions or comments that you have, or even anything you'd like to ask Hanun about her, like what she does in food manufacturing, or as a BA in general, or even as a IT strategist, which sounds like a really cool title to have. So
Yeah.
yeah, Priyanka and Ms. Zander, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, do you guys have any questions that you want to dive into?
Yes, James. I think it was a informative session. Thank you. Just one question. So, in the entire life cycle that you've shown, like from where you start from the R&D team and how you take it till the end, I mean, the entire life cycle in this food manufacturing, um, is AI playing a part somewhere now, apart from the technologies or the technologies used? Is AI also involved somewhere in this process recently for BAs or anywhere in your work where you are utilizing AI in your industry?
Yes, that is a good question about the AI thing. About the
Mhm.
I think it depends on company's grow, the company's phase of growing. So in
Mhm.
my case, my company is still in small medium enterprise. So for the AI, they still
Mhm.
don't have the priority. Like the AI will be implemented, but not in the top priority. Our top priority is now is to automate and make the information there is no discrepancy and there is no redundancy and um, make sure that the operation are transparent and everything can be trackable. So the so we can make sure that our sales and revenue can be tracked and can be uh what is the word, something like we can know all of the information. So we still in the data warehousing and the ERP implementation phase. So I think for the AI implementation it depends on the company growing phase.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I believe yes. I understood that it's a your company is somewhere
Mm-hmm.
from small to medium, and that's why currently AI is not that much involved in your process, right, at the moment. And it also, of course, depends upon the company policies and guidelines, and if they wish to
Yeah.
involve AI in their process and all of that. But okay, all right, yeah, maybe I got my answer. All right, thank you. Yeah,
All right. Thank you.
back to James.
A follow-on question there from Priyanka. That was a great question. But AI in general, like as a business analyst, maybe not even within working, but are you experimenting with any AI tools or anything there to kind of, I suppose, leverage BA work?
Uh, yeah, actually, I've started just experimenting with AI, and just for our day-to-day work, like wherever we are doing analysis, especially during
Mm,
that phase, and also for the story writing and the drafting work. So we have started using like a couple of tools for that. So just experimenting with that. If I'll
yeah,
have something concrete, maybe I can plan to take a session
yeah,
later.
yeah, that'd be cool.
All right.
All right,
Right.
Mizaner, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Do you have any questions for Hanun?
Morning, everyone. No questions from me. That was a very insightful and great question as well, Priyanka. Just to add my little tidbit to it as well. We're sort of experimenting with AI through the use of Microsoft Copilot. So for as an example, if we're because it's embedded into, let's say, Microsoft Teams,
Yes.
it will sort of take meeting notes at the end, and if we just draw up a prompt where we look at um,
Mm-hmm.
key requirements or action points for each stakeholder that was present in the meeting, it greatly is greatly efficient in that sense. So, in terms of requirements gathering, it seems like a great tool when it comes to AI, at least. But still in its infant stage, at least for myself. But that's a great use case there. I thought I'd share.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. It
Thank
was good to
you.
hear. Even I have experimented with Copilot, that is already with the teams, and in my organization as well. And I think it is giving good results, especially when we ask it to think deeper and not the auto mode. So I've seen some differences, and it takes a little bit of time, but then it responds with like better responses and better outputs. And then, of course, again, we have to review it before finalizing for any document or whatever work we have utilized it for. But again, the outputs are good enough of Copilot as well. So I agree. All right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing the experiences, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Back to you, James.
All right, if there's no other questions, then we can leave it there. But thanks so much, guys, for taking the time to attend. Hope you found this session valuable. And keep an eye out on LinkedIn for our next Day in the Life of a BA.
Okay.
All right, thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank
Good.
Thank
you,
you.
Enjoy your day,
everyone.
enjoy your evening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.